a new day, a new project. I want to check the power supplies I'm usually using around here. By the way, this one is for my soldering iron for TC100, and anything else, all these monitors and mixers and everything, I want to check their power supplies because I can feel there is an AC alternating current leaking. It's a matter of security because I got a feeling that somewhere all these wires have a problem. Maybe are the power supplies themselves, or the cable, or something is happening with the ground connection. You see here in Europe we have this kind of ground connection there, the long metal tongue or contact that should be the one protecting all this leaking, surging to the ground. So I'm gonna start having a connection to a really ground something. You see that white cable over there, it's coming from the fences around the house. I'm using them like a really nice and good ground connection, and I'm gonna measure all the voltages relatively to the real ground. Okay, so here we have the ground. That's a real ground, connected to the fences around the house down there somewhere, and that should be more than okay. Be careful with this kind of experiments. Don't touch the wires with your bare hands. The voltages can be dangerous to the human body, so be sure that you know what you are doing before anything else. Security is very important. Okay, so there we have the TS100 connected to this power supplies that's supposed to deliver 19 volts, and I'll have my multimeter on AC 200 volts, let's say, and here I'm gonna tie the ground, and let's see, and look over there, 87 volts AC. This is nuts. And now let me see if I can measure the amperage, the leaking current. We are on 200 milliamps here, so we have like 0.1 milliamp. Of course, it's nothing, you may say, but you can feel it with your hands, and it's also dangerous for the electronic components. Let me do a first fix, connecting the main in the other way. So I just plugged the connector, the mains connector, into the other way, 180 degrees, and let's see if we have the same leaking voltage. Yeah, absolutely the same story. What can I say? It's something wrong with my power supply? I don't know. We'll see. Anyway, I'm gonna open that one and try to understand what's happening there. I heard sometimes one of these capacitors going from the ground in the, let's call it, high voltage section connected to the low voltage section ground. Sometimes it's leaking this voltage. Okay, so that was a power supply for my soldering iron. Now it's time to check my laptop power supply. Yes, my dear. And let's see. Ground to ground. Nothing. This is good. Look there. Amazing nice. Nothing, nothing, nothing. Let me see the laptop by itself. This is good. This is so good. This is absolutely perfect. Let me have my sound card checked. Oh, where do I have a ground connection? Well, this is great. Let's power off this one. And this is the power supply for my sound card. Look there. 20.2 volts. What? This is crazy. Back to the laptop. Nothing. Yes, but the laptop, it's connected with a LAN cable. So you have to take that out too. So now the laptop power supply is in the air and it's looking absolutely okay. So the laptop is clean, I may say. So we have another problem here. 20 volts. This is really funny. Let's turn that one the other way into the mains to see if it's really matter. Same story. 20 volts. So I have to write these things down because we need to take action. So I have the TS100 around 84 volts. I have my TC Helicon power supply around 20 volts. Let's measure the current to 0.2 milliamps. But it's a very clear leaking of 20. Let me try another multimeter. Maybe this one is a little bit better. Okay, now we are on AC and we have 2.7 microamps. 2.7 microamps. Let me check the other power supply. Oh, this one, it's leaking like 166.5 microamps. What about milliamps? 0.3. Yeah, we have a very clear leaking. The laptop power supply? Nothing. This is so great. I think we can use this one on volts alternative. Let me check my mixer. Look there, 0.276 volts from the ground. Is it the mixer or is it the monitors? I can't really understand what's happening here. Let me have the other one. Let me see if I can use both of them. We are good with the monitors, so they are okay. But I have on the mixer, on this little mixer, I have like a 0. No, that's okay, that's fine. And let me see this big fellow. No, we are okay. This is nice. So far, I found the power supply for my music effect. It's leaking 20 volts and 2.7 microamps. And the one for my soldering iron, this is a really bad leaking because I can feel it with my hands. So somehow, this was the first part of the experiment. Now I have to see how can I get read about that, how can I solve these problems, and let's experiment. And this is really dangerous, so please don't even dare to try that at home. I'm gonna measure the potential difference between the real ground and the main ground, you know, coming from the house. I have the multimeter here. Oh, this is pretty okay. 0.4644 volts. So I may say there is no difference. Ground, it's working perfect. And this is nice. When I was talking about solution, a switch power supply, SMPS, let's say, it have this first step that's going to the mains, and here we have the ground, and this is the high voltage area, and then we have the transformer, and then we have the low voltage area, and in between this usually there is a capacitor. It's very possible the capacitor itself to leak some voltages, and it's also very possible the transformer itself to have a problem and to leak some alternating current. But anyway, it's nice to have these measurements before, at least in the audio recording and effects and all this, you know, keyboards, guitars and microphones and all this stuff. It's really nice to have a really, really good ground, because then you have all kind of artifacts, you know, like hum and buzz and all kind of crazy sounds. And not only that, it's also very possible to feel the voltage itself, you know, you feel electrocuted. This is just an idea how to do this test. First, really need a good ground connection, and that you can make this ground connection, you see, if you have fences around the house and you have any kind of metal down in the ground, then you can use this like a real ground connection. I'm also using the real ground connection to have my solar installation protected against all these thunderstorms and things like this. Okay guys, thank you for now. See you soon with some other project. I hope this is useful. Please comment and ask. I'll do the best to answer. Don't forget to have fun, and see you soon. Bye bye.